Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. So, rookies. That is the next topic I want to talk about today. So, last month we did our November rookie check-in, and this month we're doing the December rookie check-in. So, as of Tuesday, December 19th, we're going to take a look at the stats of the rookies that are currently in the top 10 for skaters and the goalies that are in the top 5 that are rookies. So, should be a fun video. Subscribe down below if you're new. Anyways, we're going to get straight into it here. So, starting off, we have, of course, the main scorer. It's Connor Bedard. Bedard, no question. Last check-in, he was first, and this year, or in this month's check-in, he is first. So there are only two players who stayed in the spot that they were, and Connor Bedard was one of them. So Bedard, in the last check-in, had 12 games played, 7 goals, 4 assists for 11 points. Well, he's played about 18 more games. With 30 games played now as of 12-19, with 12 goals, 14 assists for 26 points. He was named the Rookie of the Month for November. He's been playing some very good hockey. On a team like Chicago that's very negative, it's good to see Bedard putting up great numbers. And this is also expected too. We knew Bedard was going to be at the spot that he was at. And obviously, there's no question there. He is a great player, has been playing very well. Really not much else to it. There won't be a whole lot of talks about Bedard until probably at the end of the season, because we know he's probably going to be the Calder Trophy winner. We probably know this is going to happen. So, yeah, Bedard, number one, no question there. It's not a surprise. Now, what is a surprise is Marco Rossi. Rossi's really risen up the rankings, I think. Rossi was not even in the top 10 for the last check-in that we did. So he wasn't even there. This season, though, or this month, he has 29 games played, 10 goals, 7 assists for 17 points. I'd say for Rossi, this is pretty good numbers. You look at, the stuff he's been through since he was drafted in 2020. It's good to see Rossi having himself a very good season. And, obviously he definitely deserves this run that he's been on. And the hope is that he'll keep going with it. Hey, maybe he'll be a finalist for the Calder Trophy, even though he's about 9 points behind Bedard. It's definitely not out of the question for him to race up and get that Calder Trophy. Definitely not. And he's definitely heated up this past month with the Minnesota Wild. And he's been a big positivity for them, too, because when you look at Minnesota, they have not been great. They really haven't. There have been a lot of struggles they've had. It's gotten a little bit better, but not a whole lot better. So there's still been those struggles for Rossi and Minnesota, and we'll see if those continue. But yeah, Rossi playing a very good year with Minnesota, especially in this past month. Now, Pavel Mintyukov, he fell down one spot from where he was last month. He is third in scoring for the overall rookies. In the last check-in, Mintyukov was, as I mentioned, second with 12 games played, 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points. Well, now he has 31 games played for 2 goals, 15 assists for 17 points. Now, even though Anaheim's been playing pretty bad, I would say Mintyukov is one of the very few positives that is on that Anaheim team. There was a whole lot of concern with the defense, and Mintyukov was obviously coming into a defensive core that wasn't all too great, and he was probably going to be relied on for a lot, and he's done himself a pretty good job, I'd say, at building a pretty solid roster here. Or no, building a pretty solid roster, what? At playing a pretty solid game with the Anaheim Ducks for sure. So I really like the way that Mintyukov's been playing, and definitely could make himself a pretty good case for the Calder, if I'm being honest. He's played pretty well. Next up then, Adam Fantilli, who had himself a very good month with Columbus, even though Columbus didn't really have a good month as a whole. He rose up 5 spots from last month. Last month he was 8th. He had 13 games played, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. I'd say Fantilli then was playing well, but he's gotten even better. 32 games played, 8 goals, 9 assists for 17 points. He's had himself a really good month, having 10 points. I think that's the highest out of all these guys besides Bedard. He's had himself a really good month. So I like Fantilli a lot. He's really picked it up. It seems like he's starting to get adjusted a little bit to the NHL and playing very well. So I expect with him to get even better from where he is now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts rising up in the scoring even more, for sure. I think Fantilli definitely is deserving of that. He's been playing pretty well with Columbus. Next up then, Connor Zary. Zary, another unexpected player. He was not top 10 in the last check-in. He's been playing really well, and I mean really well. And I think that if he keeps this up for Calgary, he honestly could too make himself a very good case for a Calder Trophy nomination for sure. Zary, 22 games played, 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points. Now, I know there's a lot of time left in the season. It's very possible that when I do this in January, Zary might not even be here. But I really like the way that Zary's been playing on Calgary, and Calgary hasn't had a lot of positives either, so it's good to see that they finally have something good going for them. Not to say there isn't anything good going for them, but it's good to see that Zary has made a really good step over to the NHL, and definitely if he keeps this going, he's doing pretty well. I'd say 16 points in 22 games is great for a rookie like him. So I like the way he's playing overall, and I hope it keeps going for him because I really like Zary a lot. Zary is one of my favorites. Next up, then, Dmitry Voronkov. He was not top 10 in the last ranking. I don't even think he was thought of in November or December or whenever I made the last one. Like, he wasn't even thought of. I didn't even know who this guy was, I'm not going to lie to you. Until I went to go see him play live. I saw him score a goal. He played pretty well. But in 26 games played this past month with Columbus, he had 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. I mean, there's been a lot of injuries on Columbus, and Columbus has been a very good team. So he's taken the time that he's had, he's utilized it well, and he's put it to the scoring. And there were some rumors that he was homesick, but then the Columbus fans did something really nice for him, and he's no longer considering leaving to Russia. So that's a good thing. It looks like all that's gone, and he's going to stay in America with Columbus. And I think that's great. I think he's done very well for them. Columbus, one of the teams that has 2 rookies here in this ranking. So I'd say that Voronkov has done a pretty good name for himself. And he probably won't be a Calder Trophy winner, but he's still doing a very good job at making a good name for himself. And definitely the guys in Columbus are going to keep him around. So next up then, you have Luke Hughes. Hughes, 29 games played, 4 goals, 12 assists, 16 points. In the last check-in, he had 12 games played, 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points. So he's done pretty well. Hughes, obviously, defenseman for the Devils. The Devils have really picked it up lately, so Hughes has done a very good job. One of the notable things that I remember of him is when he scored the overtime winner against Philadelphia. That was a very nice play, and he's definitely done a good job. And he really does look like an established blue liner out there. Now, I know that he's made some mistakes, and I know that the Devils fans have criticized him a little bit, but I think he's done a really good job. And he's probably not going to be a Calder finalist, unless if he picks it up here a little bit. But still, he's playing very well, and I think it's definitely deserving of it. But yeah, Hughes, very solid player. Next up, then, Logan Cooley. Cooley has dropped 4 spots from where he was. He had 13 games played, 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points in the last check-in. Now he has 30 games played, 3 goals, 13 assists, 16 points. Cooley, I know the offense hasn't really been there that much. I feel like he's playing okay besides that, but defensively it's got to get better. There's been a little bit of issues defensively that I've seen with Cooley's game. And the offense has been lacking a little bit, but I'm not too concerned whatsoever with him. I am more concerned about how the team overall is playing. The rookie season, it's different for some players. Some players struggle. Some players do really well. It really depends on the player. So definitely, Cooley, he hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been like great either. He's been kind of an average rookie. So I'm not going to pin it on him too much. I think he's done all right by my standards, and hopefully he will do well in the next check-in, which will probably be around this time in January. So have fun with that. Next up, then, Leo Carlsson. Carlsson's a new player. He was not in the top 10 when I last made this check-in. Carlsson has 22 games played this season, 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points. It's because he started off the year pretty much not playing. He had an injury mid-practice. Then he went in, scored a hat trick, played really well against Philadelphia. I watched the game. He's going to be something really special. I know the scoring hasn't been great, and I think he might even be hurt again, but he's doing a really good job, and he's definitely making a good case for himself to be a very, very solid player in the NHL eventually. And I mean, hey, Anaheim, Columbus, and Chicago, there are once again 3 teams that aren't very good this year, but they're building a really good team with a lot of talent. So eventually, these guys are going to be, this is going to be 3 really good teams. So I'm very excited for it. And last but not least, for the skaters, number 10, you have Luke Evangelista. Evangelista fell 5 spots from the last check-in. At that point, he had 13 games played, 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points. Now he has 30 games played, 4 goals, 11 assists for 15 points. I've liked the way that Evangelos has played. Again, a player who isn't really well known. He's on Nashville. Nashville's not too often talked about on this channel or in the league in general. So it's good to see that he's surging very well with Nashville and is another underrated rookie that has made a good case for himself for sure. So yeah, those are the skaters. If you're wondering where the guys from last time were, Bobby Brink, the biggest drop off, but I don't think it's really bad either. Brink went from number 3 in scoring in November, to 11 now. So he's 11th in the scoring. Ridley Gregg went from 6 to 18. Matthew Poitras went from 9 to 13. He's going off to Canada in the World Juniors. And then Matthew Nyes went from 10 to 12. So obviously there's been some fall-offs, but those are the guys who have fallen off. And obviously I mentioned all the 4 players who have come into the fold. So yeah, those are your skaters. Let's get into your goalies now. So you got Joseph Woll to lead the way. He was doing pretty solid at the last check-in. He was 4-4 for 2.79 goals against average, a .914. His stats have gotten better. He's 8-5-1 now with a 2.80 goals against average and a .916 save percentage. Always liked Woll. He's playing very well. I think he honestly could get himself a Calder nomination for sure. I think he's going to get at least considered for it. Goalies don't get a whole lot of recognition for the trophy, but definitely I think he's deserving of getting at least some check-in. Like, he's done very well for Toronto, especially too. Toronto always faces a lot of goalie injuries, and Woll's come in and has played pretty well when he's had to. So I like the way Woll's been playing a lot. Samuel Ersson is next in our check-in. I did not expect for him to be in here, mainly because I forgot he was a rookie. Not gonna lie, but yeah, Ersson. He looked kind of mediocre at the start of the season, but now he's really turned it around. He's had some really good numbers lately. He had a 7-3-2 record for a 2.57 goals against average and a .897 save percentage. Playing very well. I'm watching Philadelphia and I'm watching Ersson. He's played really solid, and I've had my doubts about Ersson for a long time, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, I've loved the way that Ersson's played. He's played really well, so I'm happy to see him playing good as a Flyers fan. Next up, then, Devin Levi. Levi was in our last check-in. He's risen up 1 spot. His stats have gotten better. I know, I criticized him a little bit in my last rookie check-in, but his stats have gotten better. Last check-in, he had 5 games played, 2-3 record, a 3.41, and a .885. Now he has a lot more games under his belt with a 6-4-2 record, 3.07 goals against average, and a .898 save percentage. Good numbers, though, overall for Levi. Definitely improving in the right direction. Has gotten some time in Rochester now to really improve himself a little bit. And I think that was the right way to go from the first place. I didn't think he was going to be a big Calder candidate at all at the start of the season. I think I said that in my videos. I really didn't expect him to be that great of a player or that great of a goalie in his rookie year. I just couldn't see it. Coming out of the gate and putting all that pressure on his back to lead his team to the playoffs for the first time in 12 years. Yeah, no, you can't put that on a goalie right away. So that was my overall concern with Levi, but he's gotten better. I will say that. Next up, then, Pyotr Kochetkov. I honestly forget this guy's a rookie, too, because of the weird goalie eligibility. Kochetkov, 6-6-2. He was not in the top 5 last time. 2.62 goals against average and a .894 save percentage. I think Kochetkov's played well. He has that feisty thing to him. I know the Carolina Hurricanes goaltending has been a little bit for a little bit here. I might make a video on Carolina soon. I think I'm going to. Talking about their overall goaltending situation and the overall team as a whole, because that has been an issue with this Canes team. But Kochetkov, I think lately he's played well, so he's upgraded himself and has done pretty solid with the Hurricanes overall. And then finally, Lucas Dostal. Dostal fell 4 spots from the last check-in. In November, he was 5-1, a 2.80 goals against average, and a .920 save percentage. Now, he has a 6-6 record with a 3.85 goals against average and a .88 save percentage. So he has only won 1 game since the last check-in. That is brutal for Dostal. But so have the Ducks. The Ducks have not been great whatsoever. And I've honestly had enough of making videos on them because every time I make a video on Anaheim, it feels like they're just playing bad. So I'm just going to stay away from the Ducks. Sorry. But anyways, that is your December rookie check-in for 2023. Make sure to let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Adios.